And we are live. And now I'm going to tell you to hit you. Now you should be able to go live on Instagram and hit the go live button in the top right corner. It should be blue for you as it is blue for me. So the left
Got it.
screen where we look vertical is how we look on Instagram.
Yep.
And horizontal is how we look on Facebook. Now we
All right.
live. They can see us. Hey, y'all.
Yeah, I see it.
And I got one more thing I ain't tell you that I did. I'm going to tell you that I did it. And right
Okay.
now you're live on YouTube.
Okay. Live on YouTube. Let's go. That's cool.
Hey,
That's
y'all.
cool.
What y'all doing, child?
Mm-mm.
How y'all making out, child?
Mm-mm.
Hope y'all making it.
I thought you said something else. Never mind.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work on my dialect.
No, don't work on your dialect. Be great.
I'm going to work on it.
Be great.
I'm going to work on it and not talk fast to the people.
Nah, be great.
Hey, Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I see y'all on here. Our Facebook people are on here. Y'all drop in the chat where y'all listening from. Have y'all even listened to the episode? If you haven't, the QR code is right in the top of your screen, honey.
Look
Now,
at
if
that.
you're on your phone watching us, don't close the shit. I'll drop the link in the chat. But if you're watching us from your laptop, you can scan the QR code.
Listen.
Unless you
Um,
like me and Jay and you got two phones, one for the what was the song? I got two.
phone. You stupid. I'm,
Y'all got one.
here she go. Here she go. I'm dead right now.
Don't be dead, Jer. Don't be dead.
Don't. Here we go. Bro, I'm cracking up. It's so crazy to like do it this way because now I'm like looking at like the multiple screens. This is cool.
Oh, not you upgraded. Y'all, I'm giving that Beyonce upgraded. Why
This
don't
don't
we
feel like
upgrade?
Beyonce. This don't feel like Beyonce. Don't bring the B in this.
He's like, why is she clouded
No, I
already?
knew you was gonna
How
bring it.
stupid.
I knew you was gonna bring it. I know you enjoy the hour. It's nice. It's such a
I
good
do.
time.
I'll be
Yeah.
enjoying my
So,
life, y'all.
hey man, somebody just hearted something. Who is that? I can't see who it is.
I don't know who it is. I can't. Oh, it was Sheikah.
Oh, what's up,
Sheikah.
Chica?
So Sheikah was on our Oh, look at people joining us. Sheikah was on our virtual retreat. She's the one that has the coffee business that I told you we did radio together.
Yeah, Chic, what's up, gang?
I better give
My
you
buddy
content.
Mackie gonna get connected with you because he been talking to me about it. So
Yay!
yeah, I
I
love
think
it.
I got
That's a
like
great time
12
to
people
connect with.
watching this on YouTube. Okay,
Oh,
people
that's dope.
watching. I know,
Okay,
right?
I
See,
didn't
look
even know
out.
people watch anything on YouTube.
You're gonna know that you're gonna learn today.
We gonna learn today.
Listen, he gonna learn today, y'all. Look at
We
God.
gonna learn today.
He gonna learn today.
Mm-mm.
It's gonna be so good. I hope y'all checked out the episode. Let me make sure I drop it in the chat. Hey Kim, Kimberly
Mm.
Sumter. Kim was on our Heal Loving You First Masterclass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember her on our class, but
I
Kim was
do.
on that class with us.
I do.
She's in our group.
Mm-hmm. Listen.
Hey Kim. Kim actually has a podcast and a radio show as well. And so she actually streams our podcast episodes on her radio
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Oh, that's dope. Come on, let's get it. I appreciate it.
She's in Jersey. She put some hearts in there.
Okay, East Coast.
Put comments on the side.
Yeah.
So hey y'all, hey
Man,
Facebook, hello
what's up?
Instagram. Oh
What's
look
up?
at my bro Instagram. Hey bro, hey Antonio. Um, hey bro. So now you see how we move on StreamYard. He
Yeah.
called me yesterday. My brother did and I said to him, we were talking, and then of course it always turns into some business conversation. So then it turned into a whole
Mm-mm.
moment. But man,
Mm-mm.
just a good brother. I love iron sharpening iron.
Mm-hmm.
Is my
Mm-hmm.
thing. It is my
Mm-hmm.
thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
I love it.
nevertheless,
You ready for this?
I am. I'm prepared.
I'm excited. I'm
I know.
excited.
If you about
I'm
to ask me
excited.
a question, I feel it.
And I just want to know what you thought of the episode, like we always do.
Y'all, the episode was really, really, really good. It's always really good.
Hmm.
But one of the things that you said, and I did start listening a little bit to it,
Okay.
re-listening, like if I wasn't already there when it was
Hmm.
recorded.
You
But
always got to
um,
go back.
I always got to go back. You
Hmm.
kicked it off. This man said, "Let me," because I wrote it down on my notebook. Y'all be having. Jeremy takes me to school every time. I have to take notes, honey. And listen, women, y'all take notes. Pay attention. Don't be over talking to me. This how we gonna learn him. Okay, we're back in school for some. That's
Man,
how you're gonna learn him. So this
I'm
man
dead.
said, he lived there. He said, we declare his name as Father, but still don't believe him to be our Father.
Hmm.
That took me out. I was like, oh, let me
Yeah,
sit with it.
yeah.
We
It's a heavy
declare him as
declaration.
Father, but don't believe it.
Yeah, and our heart is still unbelief, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the only way you can truly be persuaded in your heart that God is truly Father is when you see Jesus and his life overcoming death, and that any death in his human flesh has been overcome, and you see Jesus in a body, in a human body, and it's overcome death with immortality. And you start to look at Jesus' life, and the whole time he was declaring of the Father, the Father, the Father, the Father. And then he cries out to Abba Father as his last breath, that in his hands he commits his life. And then that life gets risen from the grave. Only then can you truly believe in your heart that God is Father, by seeing your life being surrendered to him, that even so death sting you, you see that God having the care of your life causes you to rise from the grave. It's the only place that can actually persuade you of his fatherhood. And so that's why when we have declared all these things that God is Father, we're just
Mm-hmm.
looking at his hand. And we miss out on seeing the true nature, seeing the true heart, and seeing God in his fullness. And if you can't see God in his fullness, it's really hard to see Abba be who he really is when you're only looking at an earthly life to see what he can do about it. Well, God is like, I have a life that supersedes an earthly life. And if we don't see that life founded in him that surpasses anything earthly that we may need or feel in lack of, then we'll never be able to see him fully. So we can declare it in our mouth all we want, but our
Mm-hmm.
heart and our mouth will always be disconnected, because our heart can only come in belief when we see Jesus resurrected. And the only person who resurrected him was him crying out to daddy. And he was the only one who had the power to do so. And everybody needs that kind of dad, because what's so beautiful about a father, like when Ava looks at me being the father over her life, I'm the overcomer. Anything that comes against her, I'm the one who overcomes all of it, right? When she
Yeah.
has a provision for her life, I'm the one that she looks to for the provision. When she has a care for her life, when she looks for herself to be comforted, when she looks for healing, when she looks for anything that her life needs and life in all of itself, she looks to daddy. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's how we were made to look to God. And when we were made to look to God, that anything that comes against us, he is the one that we look to, who is the overcomer of all things that opposes our life. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where that belief starts and that persuasion starts. And so that's how we're able to bring the mouth can actually declare what's truly in the heart. And in that heart is a belief and a persuasion that I cry out, Abba Father, which is the first thing that happens in our hearts when we receive Holy Spirit, is that I am his and he is mine. And that not only am I fathered, but I'm now possessed. I'm under
Mm-hmm.
the possession of the Lord. God has called me his own. God has called me home. I'm the place where the Father dwells, and there's no separation between us. There's no distance. There's no disconnection. There's no resentment. There's no anger. There's no me needing to fix everything in order to be back in my daddy's good graces.
Yeah.
There's none of that. And so that's where that belief starts to produce a language and a fruit, and it starts to permeate and animate itself through us because we start to live according to that which is taking place inside of our hearts. And that's the faith.
Mm-hmm.
That is the faith, not only that's of God, but that's the faith that's in God, is God seeing himself as Father and having a life that when his creation begins to receive that life, the Father's life animates out of creation, and
Yeah.
there's a fruit and an expression that comes from it, and then we're called human beings. And that's the faith. That's what it produces in us. And we see a life that cannot die. We see a life that's fully cared for. We see a life that has no lack. We see a life that's fully sustained. We see a life that can't be harmed, a life that can be overcome, a life that has everything that you can imagine about what a life can be. Well, it's all in him, and he's the only one that can contain it because it all comes from him. And that's where that persuasion comes from. So it was a really beautiful episode, Lauren, to be able to break down Father from a theological standpoint, but through
Mm-hmm.
relationship. That was the whole standpoint of that introduction. See, a lot of us, if we don't have intimacy with fathers, then it's really hard for us to understand and articulate relationship with Abba Daddy, who is God,
All right.
right? And so when we come to a theology, what we believe, how we frame belief, right? That's theology about
Mm-hmm.
God, then we have to be able to see him through relationship because God formed everything from his theology being born from relationship. That is
Yeah.
the foundation of God's belief system. And so God is Trinitarian, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So before he ever made anything, he was already in relationship in the Godhead. And so out of that relationship, everything else was born. And so everything that is made from family was made for family, and it all comes back to each other through relationship. So a lot of people, when they see God, the reason why they lean into their own understanding, which is carnal, and they look to the scriptures and can't actually see God, even though they're looking at the scriptures, it's
Mm-hmm.
because they're not seeing God through relationship. They're seeing God
Mm-hmm.
through sin. They're seeing God through behavior. They're
Yeah.
seeing God through judgment. They're seeing God through condemnation. They're
Yeah.
seeing God through transformation. Well, nothing needed to be transformed when the Father thought of us being made to behold Him.
Mm-hmm.
There was no condemnation present. There was no judgment present. There was no sin present.
Yeah.
There was nothing needed to be overcome. So in the beginning, when He first is is like percolated to create us, right? His heart is percolated, it's overwhelmed, it's he's filled with a desire and a delight to make us in his image and likeness. None of that was present. So the theology that God has about us and him, all the things that we believe that theology about daddy starts at, none of
Mm-hmm.
those things were present when his theology started with making us. So we can't look through that lens. Lord, I gotta slow this down because this is really heavy what I'm declaring.
Go ahead.
When God, Father God, had a seed in his heart called life,
Mm-hmm.
and the life that was in him, and the life that is of him, and the life is him, it was so overwhelming that he was like, someone else has to experience this. In that Genesis moment, where the next moment came, in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
death was not present, condemnation was not present, bad behavior was not present. Condemnation was not present.
Yeah.
Sin was not present. So we can't see God through Father unless we see him from the birth of which he believed us to come into creation.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I see God, I don't see that, oh, I'm a wretch. I see that in the beginning, I was made for the perfection of being in his unionized life. And that has always been God's heart and theology, even when he came in the flesh.
Yeah.
And that heart was never changed. That heart was never perverted because sin and death entered us. Remember, it didn't enter him. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. And so if it didn't enter him, then that means that the persuasion that he had to bring us from the overwhelming amount of life and love that he wanted to birth us from, to behold and be in communion with him in, then that was never changed in his perspective. The only person who has an altered perspective about God is us, because we're the only one that death entered into.
Hmm.
This is so good. This is so
So do y'all see why I be taking those? Because Jeremy gonna get on here like we on another podcast. So now he gonna go on to part 3.
listen, listen.
And
This
drop y'all's
episode's
comments and
episode.
thoughts as you're hearing this. Like, how is this revelation making you feel? Like,
Man.
how are you? Like, those of you that are watching with us, like, drop in the comments. We want to know, what are you thinking? How are you feeling? What are your thoughts? Because this is open conversation for sure. Behind the mic. So, but as you were talking, one of the things that I wrote down was when you went back to us talking about relationships. And there's this quote, and I don't recall who it's coined by, but it's the quality of our lives are predicated on the quality of our relationships. And so when we think about the quality of life versus our relationships, if our quality of life is affected, then we have to go back and look at, okay, well, what do our relationships look like?
Right.
Do they reflect are they quality?
Right.
And so that first relationship being with God and with Father, and you weren't going here, but I'm gonna go here.
Go
If
ahead,
our
go. I'm with
relationship
you.
with Father was good, then our relationship with man, if our relationship with Father was good, our relationship with man would at least be better. And we wouldn't expect the man to be to us what God intended to be to us, and we could just enjoy him as he is, without the expectation of or what are you going to give me? Because quite honestly, when we look at relationships from a human element, and you and I talk about this all the time, and I know we've got content coming out around this, but a lot of times we look for the man's hand and not his heart. Now there was this song on Tyler Perry's show that they had on when he had when he was back in the day doing like his shows, and he had this song about hand the man a pen and let him pay all of my bills, right? And so you think about that mindset of hand a man a pen to pay all of our bills, to do it. And what does that mean? You looking for him to provide for you. You looking for this person to just write the check, paying all of my bills. But what about his heart? Does his heart love paying all of your bills? You know, Jesus paid it all. And all to him I owe. Does the man like the So we look at the quality of our relationships, of our life, and we see that it may not be the quality that we want. We gotta look at the first relationship which is with the Father.
That's so powerful what you're saying, Lauren. Let's go back in scripture to confirm what you're saying, because this is so beautiful.
Let's go.
When the enemy offered a seduction, right? Because to be persuaded by God means that I have come to a final conclusion, that my understanding has been overwhelmed by the evidence of something to believe it to be true. That's why we say that God persuades and the enemy seduces, because always in a seduction there's a lie present, right? So when Eve was seduced, she had, for the first time ever in her existence, she had a marred perspective of the Father. And because of her marred perspective of the Father, she offered to Adam something that came from the marred perspective. Lord,
Let's go.
Are you catching this?
Listen. Yes.
Okay. So however I see God,
yes,
is however I'll see you, because you're his image. However I see God will determine how I'll see you. When Eve was seduced that there was a life that she could find in her own knowledge of good and evil, then out of that belief of, well, in order to be with God, I have to take up life in my own hands instead of depending on God's life to produce it. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to be the one to do it. Well, because she believed that, she went back to her husband and says, will you lift up your life too, as I have? Because of the marred vision.
Yeah.
So wherever we're marred with Father, we're always going to be marred with people, because how I
Mm-hmm.
see him is always going to be found in how I see what's made in his image. And so what you're saying, Lauren, is very profound in every form of relationship. And this is when Paul talks about the ministry of reconciliation. Well, what is he talking about when he talks about that?
Come on, Paul.
Right? But Paul is saying, and you got to understand the context of the person who's saying this to even understand the phenomena of what he's declaring.
Yeah.
And the phenomena of what he's declaring, this is a man who just basically did a mass killing spree of those who were declaring that God has been risen from the dead in human flesh. And he's saying, this is so blasphemous. A man who thought he was a believer because he had the understanding of the Torah, the scripture, his
Mm-hmm.
own understanding, his own wisdom, his
Mm-hmm.
own interpretation, right? And so he's like, these people are worthy of death for saying such a nasty thing about my God, only to realize the person he was cursing was God and not the people.
Mm.
And so this is a person who went from dividing people from God to now he's talking about reconciliation.
Yeah.
I want to provide that context. So, what happened to Paul to determine the ministry of reconciliation? He
Mm-hmm.
saw Abba as he was.
Mm. Changed his vision.
Was he not blind on the road of Damascus?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was he blind of? Seeing God as he was.
Yeah.
What did Jesus say? Did he say, why are you persecuting my people? He said, why are you persecuting me?
Because we go together.
The people were the symptom of the
Yeah.
marred and perverted belief.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize he was actually trying to chastise God for causing his marred vision to be brought to light.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was when he saw Abba through Christ as he really was, then he was able to see people as he really was. And he says, man, this truth, this gospel, this son, this father, this resurrection, it is so true unto my heart that everyone is worthy to receive it despite what they have done to us and
Mm-hmm.
despite what they could do to me. This is how we know that we've come into the bosom of the Father, is there's no more drawn lines in the sand between us and them that no longer exist anymore.
Yeah.
Every human being, when God looks at it, he sees a child of his and he sees them abiding in himself. That's why Jesus literally says, for in me there is
Come
no
on.
Jew, no Jew, nor Greek, no Gentile, no female, nor male. When he sees a human being, he sees them one with God. And that's how he identifies, is
Yeah.
what your favorite word is, Lauren, is the oneness. He does not look at gender. He does not look at creed. He doesn't look at nationality nor tongue. He sees,
Mm-hmm.
are you one with me?
Yeah.
So when we walk in relationship, and if we're already in oneness with God, then when we look at that person, we ask them the question, do you want to partake of this oneness that I already have?
Mm-hmm.
I'm inviting them into the communion.
Yeah.
I'm inviting them into the life that's already taken care of. It's already provided for. It's already satisfied.
Yes.
Instead of what we do, what you're saying, Lauren, we come into relationship and we long for a life and we start looking for someone who can provide that life that we long for. And you
Mm-hmm.
know what that's called? It's called idolatry.
Yeah.
We've
But
been preaching marriage that actually produces idolatry and not the revelation of the intimacy of God and mankind.
no. Because it goes back to that control piece.
Control. Yep.
Because it goes back to that moment when I was like, we don't like to trust God because we can't control him. And that's the thing, because you can't physically touch him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you can touch, someone else, your
Mm-hmm.
neighbor, so it's
Yeah.
almost like because I can't have a piece of the control in this, then now I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I can't be in this.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know how
Mm.
to be in this because I can't control it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I don't know how to be in this thing because I can't control it, then what ends
Mm-hmm.
up happening is I end up losing it anyway.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. That's so good. That's so good. Why do you think we're afraid of surrendering the control to truly letting God father our life?
I think it's because of like the unknown.
Mm.
Like what's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
we know what's gonna we know what 2 times 2 is gonna do. It's gonna give us 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm.
I think we have to, it's almost like assessing the risk.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have to decide, we have to try to figure out, okay, if I let him be him to me and
Mm-hmm.
I surrender,
Mm-hmm.
if I look at historically what that has looks like,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like pick up your cross and follow me. It
Yeah.
looks like leave your mama and them and don't bring
Yeah.
Lot with you either. It
Right.
looks like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we almost start like grieving what we're gonna like focusing our focus on what we have to lose and grieving
Mm-hmm.
it to the
Yeah.
point where we're like, I can't do this.
Right.
Just at the thought of it, you ain't even
Right.
did anything yet.
You ain't even
Like,
did
you know what I'm
anything
saying? Like,
yet.
you've done nothing yet, but just
Yeah.
the thought of like having to move somewhere. I'm gonna take you to a place unknown, and I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to pack. Well, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
you told me don't pack. You said
Right.
pick up a cross and fight. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so then at that point, it exposes what's in the heart, which is
Right.
you're more married to the things I gave you
Yep.
than you are married to me. So
Yep.
when we go back
Yep.
to that, we call him father, but don't
Yep.
believe him
But
to
don't
be
believe
that.
him to be that. Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And that is why we struggle with it because, the snake ain't really gone. He still be
Mm-hmm.
hissing at the people and showing apples
Right. Come
and
on.
selling control.
Come on. Come on.
And people still be tasting it every now and again.
Yep. Yep.
And so we get cuffed to our traumas, we get cuffed to
Mm-hmm.
our comfort, all the
Yep.
things, and it's uncomfortable.
It is
Um,
uncomfortable.
I want to share something I saw Angie shared. My friend Angie's live with us on Instagram, and it's really good. And it goes in alignment with what we're talking about. She said the person may feel that surrender will lead to pain, rejection, or etc. And it depends on the person's trauma, which usually comes from childhood. So then it comes
Mm.
to this: do you want trauma or triumph?
Mm. Okay. Okay, that's a revelation. That is so powerful. Let's unpack it.
Come on,
Okay. I've said this before on the podcast, plenty other episodes, but we're going to dive into it again on this one.
do it.
It is a beautiful thing to discover what happened to you in your
Mm-hmm.
childhood, but that is not the power unto your life that you need to be free from what happened to you in your
Come
childhood.
on, come on.
The power that you need when you look back at what happened to you in your childhood is to see that in the beginning, before you were formed in your mother's womb, you were already in the bosom of God's life. God already saw you there. And when you see that the glory that is rested in God's life, that He always saw you sitting on the throne next to Him
Mm-hmm.
above all things, let's talk about what all things are, what happened to you in your childhood.
Come on.
That's where your triumph and the power unto salvation that overcomes what happened to you in your childhood. You need a life that surpasses what happened to you in your earthly life to overcome your earthly experiences. I'm going to say that one more time.
Please do, because I was about to ask you to. You can feel it.
You need a life
Yes.
that surpasses your earthly life to overcome what happened to you in your earthly experiences. You can't look at something that happened to you on earth to give you the power to overcome something on earth. Earth can't do that for you because earth didn't make you. God did. And in God, there is a life. When He calls you son or daughter, well, now guess what? I start persuading my mind to ruminate on. What does that look like for me to be loved by God? That He never abandoned me, that He'll never reject me, that He'll never not care for me, that He'll always be there. In fact, be there before I even arrive of the moment of needing that I need God to be there, because He's already before me and He's already behind me, and He's omnipresent. And He knows everything that I think and feel before I even know how to process what I think and feel. He knows what I'm going to declare before I even say the words out of my own heart. God is so present with every fiber of your being of life. That is the power that overcomes everything that has happened to you in your earthly life. Where was God when it happened to me? He was loving me. Where was God when that person did that to me? He was comforting me. Where was God when I had all of this loss? He was showing me that in His life there is no loss or lack, that I still had everything, though I lost those things. That
Mm-hmm.
is how we get from tragedy to triumph.
Come on.
That's how we process that revelation, because that's heavy, Lord, what you talk about.
Listen, and as you were talking, I
Yeah.
wrote this down, and Angie said, God equals unconditional love, and amen.
Yeah.
And hey,
Yeah.
Reggie, thank you
Yeah.
for rocking with us on IG. He's like, yes, sir. Reggie's the one I sent you that screenshot. I told you he was bringing the
Yeah.
men out,
Come
my
on.
client.
Come
Um,
on.
but this was something, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Sometimes the trauma we focus on is the
Mm-hmm.
same place where triumph can happen too. So you
Mm-hmm.
think about when Saul was on that Damascus road, he was
Mm-hmm.
heading, if we want to see it as the trauma, he was headed to do, to continue his journey of getting the people together, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, they were having churches or following Christ.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't with it, right? So he's headed
Right.
there. But on his path, something happened, and
Mm-hmm.
right in that same path, that same pain, there was triumph. And now
Mm-hmm.
he's this different person, and now he's the person we still talk about to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about my first book, Purposeful Pain,
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget telling my mother in my kitchen, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just write about my experience. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what God gonna do with this, but what I
Mm-hmm.
do know is I feel like Betty Wright. The difference between me and y'all is
Mm-hmm.
you know me and I don't know you, but it doesn't mean you haven't gone through a divorce. It doesn't mean you haven't gone through some of the same pains that I've gone
Mm-hmm.
through. The difference is the level of exposure. Who knows about it? Who doesn't know about it?
Mm-hmm.
And that really being this quote unquote difference. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, and that's gonna be the same place that I find healing. Because I was like, no
Mm-hmm.
one's telling me to heal. Everyone's like, don't move on too fast. But no one's saying, well, maybe you need to heal. Like maybe you need to
Mm-hmm.
take time. Because a lot of us get stuck in that don't move on too fast, which is why we stay cuffed to the trauma.
Mm-hmm. Man, we say a lot of beautiful phrases that have so much meaning, but we don't know how to practice them.
Mm. Hey, Shando. That's good, Jared. Go ahead and gather so that he got them glasses on today, y'all. So Reggie, you on IG with me? CJ got them glasses on. That's when you know it's about to get real.
Listen,
Gather your thoughts. Hold on, people.
when we say things like when we come out of things that hurt us
Yeah.
and we say, I need time to heal, it's a beautiful expression, but we don't know how to actually walk out the healing for the time that we need to heal. What does it mean when we come out of something that has harmed us or something that has hurt us, I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
in our human experience? And what does it look like to take time to heal? Well, I would say to you, Lauren, that the take time to heal is resting in the Father's love and life. And if we don't know what resting in the Father's love and life, first of all, we don't even know that God has a life of his own.
Hmm.
This is why Christianity has so much perversion in its teaching in so many denominations, is because there's so many different perspectives of
Yeah.
trying to get God into our life instead of us getting into God's life. And God has a life. God has always had a life.
Yeah.
When Jesus says that he came, what did he come to give? Life
Right.
and life more abundantly.
Mhm.
And I talk about it all the time because it's crazy to think that this has always been in the word, but people have never been curious about, well, God, what is a life? We don't know what a
Yeah.
life is. We think that our job is to get God so much into our life that we have all these physical manifestations to prove that God is in our life with stuff and how good things go for us and
Hmm.
how we overcome things from an overall earthly perspective. And then we tell everybody the stories and the testimony, which is some great stories. I'm not taking that away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we think that that's the totality of life, is getting God into our stuff to give us stuff and to keep our stuff. Well, I would actually disagree with that. When
Hmm.
Jesus prayed, I pray that thy will be done on earth as
And
it is where? In
in
heaven.
heaven.
Well, the question that I would start asking of what does it mean to take time to heal? Well, God, if you're trying to get what's done here, what's happening there, then the question I would ask is what's happening there?
Come on.
When I became a new creation and you
Hmm.
made me myself,
Yeah.
right? Well, what did I inherit with this new creation? What life did I come into? If I died, Paul said, I died so Christ lives in me, right? Well, Paul's life, it ended. When you said pick up your cross, that means my life has died. Well, whose life am I now in that can be able to make something new that was once dead? Who can do that? Not having the person I've always wanted, which is a great desire, but that can't
Hmm.
raise you from a dead life.
Absolutely not.
Not having my dreams come to pass, not traveling and seeing all the world, not being in soft eras, not being in social media movements, not being in all these hashtag things. We're still in things that the world is determining the wisdom and life of. We're not even letting God determine what life is. We're still looking at the world and then trying to put God in it, and they don't go together. And wonder why we don't take time to heal, because we're still looking at the world to determine what it looks like to have a life that comes from hurt, to determine, has my life healed?
Yeah.
Can I tell you this? You'll know when your life is healed that the person and the pain that you experience, and you see them as innocent anyways.
Now can I unlock the shackles? We going today, Jan? Now can I unlock the shackles?
It isn't that what came out of the Lord Jesus's mouth? That
Hmm.
when he was on the cross being nailed to a tree by us, because he was convicting the life that we found that was not in his life, and we condemned him
Come
for
on, Jan.
exposing us for finding a life outside of God. And then we nailed God to a tree who came to give us life. And you know what his life spoke back to us when he was being hurt by us? Forgive them, for they know not what
Oh,
they
thank
do.
you.
That's how you know that you're healing in a time where you've been hurt. I
Yeah.
see every human being that has hurt me, that death has stung them.
Yeah.
So if you're stung by death and you don't have someone to get that stinger out, guess what you're going to do? Sting people with death.
Hurt people hurt people.
And guess what? I don't care how much self work you do. I don't care how many retreats you go to. I don't care how much you pay your therapist. I don't care how many bishops, apostles, pastors, prophets you have. If you do not see God raised from the dead, and that stinger of death was pulled out of human flesh, And then he says, abide in me, that you have inherited the same body I have with no death in it. You will never be able to truly heal in any area or facet of your life because that stinger of death is still going to be there. And you can't self work that thing out. You can't get it out. That's why Paul said there's a thorn in his side. He couldn't pull that thorn out. God had to. You can't raise yourself from the dead. Human beings don't have the ability to self work themselves into immortality. It's the only power that saves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Let's go
No,
in.
go ahead.
Go. No, let's go.
Well, you saw me taking notes for the people because I'm not going to get what I got to say. That's what I'm
Yeah.
not going to do. First of all, if y'all's just joining, whoo, child, this thing is good. This thing good here. So I want to go back to what we talked about with healing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I also feel like people need to understand what is healing.
Right.
So when I spoke of me deciding to not, instead of like not moving on too fast, but taking time to actually heal, what happened in my healing process was I allowed God to expose himself to me while I spent time exploring me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it again for some of y'all who just
Say
joined.
it again. Come on.
Healing, my healing journey was me allowing God to expose himself to me and
Mm.
for me to spend time exploring myself. Yeah.
Mm.
So it's not about all the other things.
Lauren, no.
See,
You got
I gotta sit with it in here with you.
no, I need it one more time. Can you just read it one more time? That is so you don't even understand what you're unveiling. Go back and read it one more time. Just
Okay.
mm-hmm.
So my healing journey was spent allowing God to expose himself to me while I enjoyed exploring myself with him.
That's it. That's being with the Father. That's the power that heals us in every season, no matter what happens to us. That right. What you just gave is the thesis
Mm.
of what healing looks like. There's no other thought. You can. I want you to keep going. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm trying
I know
to
you're not.
understand. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to reveal the weight of what you just revealed. That is the heart of healing.
Yeah.
Living in His exposure of Him.
Mm-hmm.
I love the word that you said. While I'm enjoying the exploration.
Yeah.
We think that when we're hurt, we can't be in multiple dynamics at one time.
Yeah.
And what happened is when we get hurt, we let hurt start to father the heart.
Man, you gotta say that again. This thing good.
I'm telling you this.
I take. Let me write my note down, y'all. Y'all
Listen,
can read my notes
this
later.
coming from what the Lord put through you. This ain't mine. I'm eating off the plate that was provided unto you. I'm
Come
feasting.
on, Jay.
Listen, we
Mm.
let hurt father the heart instead of letting hurt meet the Father in our heart. Oh, bruh, bruh, girl, Lauren, Payne, I would like to introduce you to the love that was still here while I was still experiencing it. Fear, I would like to introduce you to the love that has already been here before you tried to torment me.
Mm.
My marriage that failed, the love that I thought would last forever. I want to introduce you to the love that will last forever. I want
Mm-hmm.
to introduce you to the bridegroom that will always be married to me. And when you start to take what's happening to you in your earthly life and start introducing it to you in your heavenly eternal life with God, you start realizing that nothing what happened to you took away from your life.
Something good, yeah. I got more notes, but that thing we had to. We can't be moving people too fast. Hey, Linda. Thank you for joining us, baby. Linda, but I don't know if you can see their comments on Facebook. I think you can.
Yeah. I can scroll. I see Lucas always putting that fire.
Hey,
Look at that.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Hey,
Uh,
Carlton on IG.
yeah.
Man, that like, and y'all drop y'all's thoughts on this. Is this healing you? If it's not healing you, that's
Yeah.
okay. It's healing me. I'm gonna leave a replay so it can catch your heal. But
Yes.
you just catch up to it because sometimes you got to just catch
Yes.
it just later on in life. Because I'm a slow processor today.
Yes.
But this is as it is healing to those who hear it. It's also healing to those who speak it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
thank you, Linda. She
Thank
said,
you, Linda.
"Thank you."
Listen, Linda. I done been in the presence of Linda.
Come, listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. Linda got
Listen,
all the
Linda.
juice of Jesus, baby.
Ooh,
When
I
I
can't
tell
wait.
you, thank you, Linda, for blessing us, because that's a compliment. I know you know him face to face, baby. It means so much to me, man. Lord,
Mm,
what God is doing in this moment, He is creating an imagery
mm-hmm.
in John 15, what it looks like for us to abide in Him. What does that look like?
Don't
When
start with that abide. I started researching that. We
listen,
unpacked it and I have a private time.
listen.
Come on, Shahir.
When we are home, when we find our home in God, this is the visual that God is producing. And this is why God said, Jesus said, for anyone who does not abide in me, he says that branch can do nothing in and of itself, and it will wither and die. Do you want to know why? Because there is no life that you can produce that can cause it to overcome everything that oppresses it. You can't make it in yourself. Imagine yourself pulling yourself away from the vine and the person who waters you and prunes you to make sure that something is always being produced in and of you as a branch, and you ain't the one caring for yourself as a branch. The branch don't do nothing but cling. That's all its purpose is, and to receive and to be made and
Come
to be
on.
cared for and to be showered. It's an inheritor. Now imagine you ripping yourself off from all in which cares for your life and where you get your life from, and then you trying to do it in and of yourself as a branch. That's every human being living outside of being intimate with Father. They think they know God, but you don't know God until you know Father. And you can't know Father unless you see him through Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
People say that they love Jesus, but the Jesus they know ain't the Jesus that declares who the Father is. They're not the same.
Mm-mm.
And this is why this is so important. Not only just what's going on in people's lives, what's happening to our nation. We are so divided because of what we think Father is.
Yeah.
And God wants to come and say, most of y'all don't know me. Y'all, y'all come to me saying, Rabbi, Rabbi, look at what I've done. And I'm saying, you don't know me. Because you're looking for me to approve what you've done, to prove that you know me. But for those who are truly my children, they come to me looking to see what I've done to realize that I've always known them. That's daddy.
Come on.
That's daddy. God has always known you.
Mm.
God is the only one who will ever truly know you.
Yeah.
You don't need to put that on other people. You don't need to put that pressure on others to
Mm.
know you the way that God knows you.
Yeah.
I know we want depth. I know we want connection. I know
Yeah.
we want intimacy. I know we want all these deep experiences, and we can have those things. But they are only made and they can only be formed when we realize that we are already deeply known. It's not from a place of emptiness, it's from a place of realizing that I'm already in the fullness of it. And when we can operate like that, knowing that we're already rested in the love that surpasses all understanding, that the heights, the depths, and the widths of the love that only comes from Christ. When we see him reaching his life out to us and his arms out to us saying, I have a life for you. And
Yeah.
there's no transaction. I don't need anything from you.
No.
I only want you. I have no need. I only have desire. This is only pure intimacy. I am not a codependent God, but I have a codependent life. And when we come into that place with Abba, and when we see Father as he truly is, it really puts all of life into its clarity, and we see it all clearly by seeing him as that. Everything is seen clearly as that. And when we see everything clearly as that, now, Lauren, that is the discernment into our life. We're no longer gauging who can do this, who can do that. Are they evil? Are they demonic? Oh, they're going to hurt me. They're not going to hurt me. We're discerning from the life that I already am fathered. And then you see everything else that is not in it, because
Yeah.
the light that comes from him being the Father of lights that shines upon you. That's why
Mm-hmm.
you're called the light of the world, Lauren, is because you are born from a Father who is light. You're the seed of it. You're the inheritor of it.
Come
You're the
on.
co-heir of it. You are as your Father is. Jesus says, I do what I see the Father doing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
what was the Father doing? In the beginning, he says, let there be what? Light. Well, you know what happens when God shines and you're his image? It shines through you, and that same light comes through you as well. So when we say that we're children of God, there's a light that discerns everything that is hidden.
Come on.
And when we see things that are hidden, we don't condemn it.
No.
We don't reject, we don't chastise it.
Uh-uh.
We see the human heart that is hidden and we say, "Will you walk into this light with me?" But what we've let the world's wisdom do, we have depended upon a role to tell us who we are. We have let society determine these factions of relationships to determine what I can and can't be to a person.
Yeah.
But when we see light shine, I don't see roles and I don't see genders and I don't see factions of relationship. I see a human being that was made to come out of darkness into light. And you can put it in whatever box you want as long as they know that they have been made for Abba Daddy.
Yeah.
But we've let that hinder our witness because, well, that's not the person that's supposed to be my spouse. So you're going to reject the gospel from them? You're going to withhold God from them? You're not going to care about what hurts them? So we're
Hmm.
just we're just walking around literally like denying human beings because they don't give us what we feel like we're owed. You know who that sounds like? That sounds like the enemy, where he prowls looking for whom he can devour.
Devour. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound like children of God, but that's what Christians practice.
Yeah.
Until you can give me what I deserve, this person that does X, Y, Z, 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 Z. And it's so confusing because I'm like, well, I thought you already have that with God.
But you want me to be it? It's giving now.
I'm not saying choose someone that you don't feel yoked with in the life of God,
Correct.
but choosing someone that's yoked with in the life of God doesn't make you put expectations on them as though they're God. Those are two different things. And we don't know the difference. And so, Lauren, like what you've been revealing and what's happening from what you've shared, man, it's so heavy and it requires so much like step-by-step processing for people to actually know and see like for their blindness to be removed, to actually see what it looks like to live in the life of Father. And what are we inheriting in his life? And why we call him, we sing it, you're a good, good Father. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's who he is, but we still have yet to receive the person we say we know.
Okay, so can we go here?
Yeah, let's go.
Can we go to my notes?
Let's go.
Thanks, Reggie. Reggie talk about Priest Jay.
Appreciate you, bro.
Listen, I'm telling y'all, Jay, I got the glasses on. So this was something I wrote because you were talking about the overcomer, right? Like him, like you were talking about overcoming and him being the overcomer.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I started to write down was when we align ourselves with the overcomer, then we're inheriting that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we find ourselves doing to get into that space of control is we decide to be the overachiever.
I'm about to throw this phone at you. I wish if it wouldn't break, I would have hit you right now.
No,
Just go ahead. Go ahead, child. Go ahead. Keep going.
And so, which puts us in our control.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of us that have struggled with letting God be God or letting people just be people, and we talked about this last week, I know, about putting our trust in God and allowing our love to overflow to man. That's not how we said it, but that's how we said it today. So put your trust in God and allow your love to overflow to man, right? Don't put your trust. So it's all about it's all about strategic positioning. So when we go back and we start thinking about God as being this overcomer, and he says that I've come that you may have life and have it more abundantly, and I've overcome death. If we are persuaded that we are overcomers, and so because of that we've inherited, then we'll stop trying to be overachievers that pushes us out of the presence, out of the present, and out of enjoying the present moments. The enemy sold us on the power factor, which includes overachieving, overextending, overdrawn. It's like it's a lot of overs, and it's all things that are being done in our strength versus allowing God to come over and serve us. And it's just enjoy what that feels like.
Lauren, why are you doing this today? Why you letting Daddy talk through you like this? Why you let Dad talk to you like this?
I just want the people to come on to the other side. Get on the ship. Come over to the other side where the life is plenty, where you're not worried about what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? What am I like? Just being able to just rest. Thank you, Linda. Linda said that's resting in him. Yeah. And one of the things that I shared in our previous podcast episodes that blessed me in my devotional, and I've been reading 100 Days of Believing Bigger for 5 years. That's just go with it. But she said, rest and I love a good acronym, releasing every sabotaging thought. Because the body and the mind can't rest if the mind is still overworking. You can't rest in your head, which is why you can't rest in your heart. So even though the body is sleeping physically, it's not being restored. It's not being, it is not recalibrating, right? And so, and why is it not? Because of the thoughts. He said, I know the thoughts I have of you. So what are the thoughts you have of you? Are the thoughts you have of you the same thoughts he has of you? Because it's the thoughts that keep us overachieving. It's the thoughts that keep us making people, putting people in positions that they're not prepared for, i.e. making them our God. Right? So when I was listening to you, that was one of those big aha moments for me, because I remember when I started coaching with Goldman, and I was in one of my coaching sessions, and this had to been like the third or fourth one of the day, and everybody that got on there kept telling me in their private one-on-ones they're an overachiever, and then it finally hit me: what are you using achievement to get over? Because if we don't deal with what you're using achievement to get over, you'll never get over it. And what's under that overachieving, that's your trauma. That's that story you've been telling yourself about yourself. That's the pain you haven't released. That's the unforgiveness you haven't exposed to God. And that is why people who say they are healing, and I'm air quoting that, they still have this struggle. And here goes where the struggle is. So let's go into talking about these deep experiences, because you had went there too. You can't have deep experiences in shallow waters. Some of y'all trying to have a deep experience in 3 feet of water, and you're 5 feet. You ain't gonna ever have no depth. You can't have a deep experience in shallow water. And furthermore, to get down to the bottom, it takes time. Half of y'all ain't got time. You ain't got time. Jerry said something to me yesterday about being present, because he knows that I will run a schedule, honey. Y'all, if you've been in my stories, you saw what I said. If you're not on my calendar, then we ain't doing it. Okay. I'm gonna live on that calendar. And Jerry knows that. And he asked me yesterday, he said, are you being present with the moments that you're in? And some days, my days are rough. We're very busy. And so I said to him, not always, or not, or something like that, like not all the time. But what I do is I note them on my phone, so I can go back to them. So some of the ones I ain't got time for, I'm gonna go back to them. What? Because why? Because I understand that in order to have a deep experience, I got to be willing to go to deep waters, and those deep waters look like it's the you being explored by him. Him going into the depth of you, and you going into the depth of him. And that's not a hit it or quit it kind of thing. That's not no quick thing. That's not fast food. That's slow cooker meals for those of you who've been in the kitchen. So you know how that's a longer process, but most of us struggle with that. And so that was another big thing that I took away. And then the last thing I took away was, Jerry must have hit some of his phone, child, he'll be back, was God giving giving God this invitation to explore us. So when we talk about going into the depths of ourselves with God and him within us, and what does that look like? It looks like us inviting him into exploring us. God, can you explore me with me? Can I explore me in you, in order for me to truly understand, like, what's happening here? What's going on in my life? How am I able to kind of understand what's happening, in the moment? And so nevertheless, as Jeremy was just sharing all that he shared, he'll be back. He got knocked out, so he's coming back. I just wanted to share that because somebody needed to hear it. Look, Reggie said, man, listen. Linda said, that's really good, Lauren. What are you trying to overachieve? Or how you said that. It was so good. Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
I'm back.
Jimmy be back like he never left, y'all.
Listen, that scared me. I said, what happened? Okay, we back. Keep cooking.
Oh yeah, he was like, keep going. I'm like, oh baby, don't. Oh, we do this. We do this. But I pray that bless someone, and that you do begin to invite God into the exploration of you, and not being afraid of that. Yeah. And if you are finding yourself saying that this isn't deep enough, you may need to check where your water supply is coming from. Are you in the pool? Are you in a pond? Are you in a tub trying to have a deep experience? because divers look for deep waters,
Mm,
not shallow ones.
mm,
And I'm
wow.
complete.
I feel like this was the podcast. I
I
don't
mean,
even
we
know
can
what to
download
record
it and
now.
share
We
it.
supposed to be doing part 2.
Well, I mean, technically, I mean,
Bruh. Jeez Louise.
it may,
Listen.
y'all make sure y'all share this because this is
Yeah,
not
this
just to
one.
be left here. Share
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Share this. You never
Yeah.
know what people
Yeah.
need and when they need it. You
Yeah.
never know what they need and when they need it. Because somebody today just
Oh.
found out what healing was. They thought healing was getting outside, posting they feet in the sand. Uh Nobody thought it was flu down season. I don't
Listen.
wanna,
Listen.
somebody thought that and they did not
Listen.
know. And so they needed to
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
real healing comes in when you're free to explore. Jeremy
Yeah.
calls me what did you call me, Jared? I want to say Dora the Explorer, but that's not it. It's it'll come back to me. But Jeremy jokes about the way I just go explore life in the
She
world.
be gone. Carmen San Diego.
Carmen San Diego. Where in the world
Bruh.
is Carmen San Diego?
Listen. I'm gonna end on this note because you just hit something. Because I
Okay.
want people to be encouraged.
Yes, end it. End the side.
When you place your feet in the sand,
Mm.
wherever you choose to go to believe that you're escape or looking for some type of reset, wherever those places are, whether you dig yourself into a book, whether it's working out to relieve the
Yes.
anxiety, whatever your practice is, I want to let you know that the practice and the place is not the power to overcome the thing that you're finding in the place or the practice. The power that overcomes in the place, in the practice, is you beholding that you are your Father's child, and in Him is a love and a life that overcomes everything that's trying to overcome you. If you are not beholding that, and if that is not the root that you are rested in those places or practices, I don't care how much relief you feel, the anxiety is still there. The depression has still made its home. The fear is still tormenting. It may take a nap, but it has not been removed. Created places, I love what Lucas said so powerfully. Created places and doing created things does not overcome what's happening to creation. It's only God that can do that.
Mm. For my heart heard you say, the practice is the performance.
Hello. Hello. Go ahead, take your walk. I like nature. I'll be dazzling and dazing, gazing at the mountains every time I drive home. But when I see those mountains, I don't look to those mountains to remind me of where my rest comes from. I
Mm.
look to my mountains and see that the hands of my Father has crafted them. And I see that those mountains know who their maker is, and it reminds me to be persuaded of who mine is, and that's the rest that I see.
Mm. It's not so the practice is the performance, not the persuasion. Child of God.
That's it.
That's
Just
a
in
wrap
case.
on that. That was a time.
Listen,
Make sure y'all
listen,
join the email list. I dropped the link in the
listen.
chat.
I
And
love
on that,
y'all.
on coachlaurenj.com/podcast,
Yes.
you can join our email list, but you can also listen to the
Yes.
episodes. And if you join the email list, Jimmy didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm going to go and do this right here.
Do it. Gonna do it.
If y'all go ahead and join the email list, I got the free ebook copy of Home, The Garden Awaits.
It is
I'm going to
available.
drop it in
Put it in
your
there.
email box. So go ahead and
Put it
get
in
on the
there.
list.
Put
Get
it
on
in
the
there.
list. Now, if you're not on the list, don't I don't want to hear it. Get on the list.
Yeah.
Pick up your phone and type
Yeah.
your little email and your name in on there. And that's it. That's the word of the Lord.
Listen, I
We love
appreciate
y'all.
you. We love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Linda! I love you.
Listen, Linda.
Thank you for getting on. Linda, I love me some Linda. Y'all don't understand
Oh, I
the,
love it.
the way
And
that
thank
Linda
y'all for
love
loving on
God.
me and Jeremy. And
Listen,
Jeremy, people, y'all be loving on me. I be
yeah,
grateful.
we
I
family.
love it here.
My people, your people. They know what it is.
Oh,
I
sounds
know,
good.
man. We'll see
Well,
y'all next Thursday.
same time, same place. Y'all better listen to that episode.
Go get it.